I'm gonna teach you to train like the world's scariest strikers. The training modality is called Dutch drilling. What is Dutch drilling? Dutch drilling is basically where you simulate a fight with a training partner, except you use pre-agreed combinations where you both know what each other's gonna throw before you throw it, so you can prepare your defense adequately and you have a mental awareness of what's about to come. But you throw the combinations as intense as you would a fight. Also, you can do this for boxing only, you can do it for Muay Thai with knees and elbows, and you can do it with just kickboxing as well. So K1, boxing and Muay Thai, it works for everything. Okay, right, so demonstration. Go. My turn.
For all Dutch drills, we stand in front of each other as if we are fighting, and we strike our partner in the same way we would strike a pad or heavy bag. One person throws the technique whilst the other person receives the technique, and then you swap round. Dutch drilling benefits both the striker and the guy being hit simultaneously because the striker gets to work his technique of attack, meanwhile the guy being hit gets to work his technique of protection and conditioning, such as blocking and slipping. Both people are improving their distance management, timing, accuracy, balance, sensitivity, coordination, biomechanics and striking technique, mental and physical toughness, cardio endurance and explosivity. The guy attacking aims for his partner's face with the intention of landing a strong punch. The guy defending or receiving the punch relies on blocking techniques or evasion techniques such as slipping to avoid getting his nose broken and KO'd. For kicks, the guy attacking throws as hard as the other guy can handle, and the guy defending can either take it on the leg or the body for conditioning, or block it with a check or a hand parry. You generally mix it up for different benefits. You can do literally any combination in Dutch drilling, from a basic 1-2, even single jabs, or in this case in the demo, we're doing a 1-2-3 and a low kick, very simple kickboxing combination, all the way up to combinations of 10 strikes and longer. Later on in the video, I'll explain how you build up to this type of level and how you periodize your Dutch drilling training. The reason Dutch drilling is so powerful is you get in hundreds and hundreds of reps in one session. You are doing loads of volume. This can massively improve your toughness and ability as a striker, but there's some very important things which I'm going to explain later in the video to ensure you don't do this wrong.
The key point in Dutch drilling is you're developing your creativity and your awareness of opportunities as well as your physicality. So you start off with a basic like 3 or 4 punch strike combination, and then you're adding beats on top, like then you add 2 strikes, then 3 strikes, and then 4, and then eventually you're doing like 5 strikes, 10 strikes, and working with whatever you see opening up. So an example is this, where we started off with the double jab, switch hook, knee, and then we go double jab, switch hook, fake knee, into a sweep, into a kick. That's me just improvising as we go. Boom. So here's another example with if you're doing pure boxing only, no kicks and knees. So get to my boxing position, a little bit more side on. All we're gonna do, I'm gonna throw my 1-2 like I was. Henry's gonna throw his 1-2. I slip just like before. Now this time, look, I'm loaded up, so I'm gonna go body, body, head. That's a high probability, easy combination. You're gonna go. Nice, yeah, there's the intensity there. You go. So for Dutch drilling, there's some key points you have to bear in mind. Number one, most importantly, is mindset. Dutch drilling is intense. You have to have the mindset that you are training as you will fight. There's a couple of reasons for this. One is practice does not make perfect. Get that out of your head. Practice makes consistent. There's a huge difference here. Perfect practice makes perfect. So when I'm doing these Dutch drills, I need to make sure I'm practicing as close to perfectly as possible. I just in the voiceover explained that one of the biggest benefits of Dutch drilling is you get crazy volume in a session. In like a 60 to 90 minute session, you can do literally hundreds of reps, thousands at the top level, right? If you are doing those wrong, guess what? You're gonna get really good at doing them wrong. If a little bit of your technique is off, you're gonna have done 100 reps of the wrong technique. So Dutch drilling, first and foremost, requires an autistic mindset. This is like the one benefit of being like hyper vigilant and like overthinking. By the way, the way I learned this was at Mike's gym in Holland. I had some boxing fights. I've been training for about 4 years in boxing. I thought I knew my shit. They literally started the drills. They don't even say anything, by the way. At the highest levels of this, you're supposed to just know what's going on. I walked in, I spud the guy, we got ready. I throw my 1-2 like that. The guy literally turned around like this and just fucking threw his hands up like that. And he shouted something in Dutch. I think he was just talking shit about me. He said, get me like a better partner or something. I was like, what the fuck? And he goes, why your foot like this? I was like, what? And it turned out when I was jabbing, I was stepping too close to his front foot. And he wanted me to step outside his back foot to open up the line for my rear hand. So little things like this at the most microscopic level, this is why Dutch drilling is good. Because you have to really think about the accuracy of your movements and then repeat them perfectly hundreds of times. If he had never pointed that out to me, I would have done that session, which I finished. I did the 90-minute, actually it was 2 hours at Mike's gym. They don't train, you're not allowed water, by the way. It's like 2.5 hours training, like seriously high level shit. And I would have just done it stepping without even thinking about my step when I was like 19 years old or whatever. Whereas now when I do it, I think about that lesson. I'm like, right, is my foot placement perfect? Is my body transfer perfect when I throw that cross? Am I stepping back out of range? These are the kinds of details you need to pay attention to. Otherwise, you're going to just mindlessly be locking in the wrong habits. So first is mindset in terms of accuracy of what you're doing and being aware. Which is a good lesson for life, self-awareness. Are you aware of yourself? Yes or no? Most people aren't, which is why most people lose. Second mindset aspect is go hard. You're training to fight here. Like Dutch drilling is to replicate fighting. And I just mentioned in the voiceover, it's about conditioning. It's about going intense so that you're ready, one for your endocrine system, your fight or flight, and you're physically conditioned as well for actual real life striking when a guy really tries to hurt you. So there's none of this shit here where I'm doing my jab like, oh, you're okay. Oh, I don't want to hit you too hard. Nah, f that. It's his fault. If he can't keep up with me, it's his problem. Put your fucking mouth guard in, learn to block and defend yourself properly, and get ready to take some hard shots. Because I need to condition myself to be able to kill. I need to train my killer instinct and really be willing to fuck someone up. He needs to be training his protection, self-protection, where he's like, I cannot afford to fuck any of this up or I'm going to get really hurt. So mindset for aggression and for self-preservation and accuracy, like I just discussed. So point number one is mindset with Dutch drilling. And another little anecdote from when I trained at Mike's gym, we had a sparring session. So this is how they drill, by the way. Imagine what the sparring is like. The sparring, you are actually trying to knock each other out and kill each other for real. I got knocked down by Melvin Manhoff's son, who's a fucking absolute murderer. I got up, I was seeing like triple. I couldn't even see straight. I was fully concussed. And one of them shouted at me, said, hey, England, fuck off or carry on. That's what he said. He said, either get out the gym and don't come back because you're too weak, or carry on and die. Like, that's the mentality of this kind of training, which is why they're the scariest guys in the world. You have to literally shoot them dead to stop them. It's a serious way of training. Put a mouth guard in when you're drilling as well. Another really good point about that adds to the mindset now is think of the 3 E's. You hear me mention this a lot. Entry, execution, exit. Most people, when they mindlessly train on the bag or the pads or whatever, they're doing their own training and they're not training at the highest level like this. They only ever focus on maybe the entry and the execution. They think, oh, I'm going to train my jab on the bag, jab on a partner, jab on the pads, and they're only really training this second E, which is the execution. Their entry is the step, their execution is the punch, and that's it for 99% of people. They only think about those 2 steps. So at the highest levels of Dutch drilling, you have to focus on the third E, which is the exit. So I enter with my step, I execute the punch with, I execute the technique with my punch. Guess what? I also need to exit and go back out of range. So again, really focus on these details. Don't just mindlessly throw the technique hoping that it's all right. Pay attention to what you're doing. Enter, execution, exit. So this is why another third point now for Dutch drilling, pick a line on the floor. Stick to this line. Make sure you're out of range to begin with. So I'm all the way out of range. He can't hit me, I can't hit him. Now I enter, execute, now I can hit him, and I'm back out of range again. So I'm really dialing in my ability to manage distance, land a perfect strike, and get back out again. If you need to, slow it down. Again, mindset, slow down to speed up. Get it right to begin with, then add the intensity, then add the like the power and that kind of thing. Get your distance management right first, the sensitivity, the awareness, the balance, the technique. Get all of that down first, then build up the intensity if you need to. Which leads into point number 4, which is you only get out of this what you put in. Which means if you're training with a complete beginner, you're only going to be able to progress at the same level as them. So generally for Dutch drilling, you want to train with guys on your level. As a complete beginner, if they don't understand all these principles, if they haven't done the basics, they don't understand distance, they don't understand how to block and protect themselves, it's going to slow you down because you want to practice your intensity of smashing them up. But if you're going against a complete beginner, you're just going to injure them. So you need to make sure they're on your level. If you're a complete beginner, go train with a complete beginner and you can both progress at the same time. Like I said, I got uninvited pretty much from Mike's gym when I first ever did this. The guys were like, look, you need to go in the beginner class because you're not ready for the advanced one, even though I had a few fights. I just wasn't ready for their level of intensity and their focus. You get what I'm saying? So I had to go down into the beginner's class or the intermediate, and then a few weeks later I was allowed into the advanced one again. So make sure you're training with the appropriate people with this. And along those lines, again with mindset, don't be the idiot that trains to be soft. If you hit someone and crack them and you bust their nose because they didn't protect the punch, that's their problem. Don't say sorry, don't fucking be nice about it. You are training your killer instinct here. Now, final point, Dutch drilling is about getting repetitions of what you already know. It's not about learning new techniques. If I don't know how to throw a lead hook, for example, I don't want to spend what should be a 60 to 90 minute session of me getting 100 lead hooks in. I don't want to spend half of that session going, oh, where do I put my foot? How do I turn my fist? What do I do with my hips? I don't want to do that. Use your other training for that. Use your bag work, your one-to-one work with your coach, your bedroom, like shadow boxing, Don Dojo fucking courses. You get what I mean? Like learn the technique first and then go get the volume in during a Dutch drilling session. Right, so how do you program the session? How do you add these into a session? There's two ways of doing it. One, you can use it as a warm-up to mobilize yourself before a main session, before a technique session. Use your Dutch drilling, like go 1 for 1, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, like just do these as a few for a couple of rounds, like 3 minutes, 6 minutes, just to warm the body up. Or you can do the whole session doing Dutch drilling. Those are your two ways. In either case, generally the way I advise doing it is, so for a warm-up, do 2 3-minute rounds. For your main session, you're going to be doing upwards of like 23-minute rounds, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 20 rounds, 3 minutes each, 30-second rest, no water. This is how you train at the highest level. In either case, what I would recommend, you start off your reps, maybe your first round going 2 for 2. Ideally, I'd have my other glove, but I need to hold the mic. So for right now, say I do a jab and a low kick like this from southpaw, I'm gonna do that twice. Imagine that's the combination we're training. So I'm gonna go jab, low kick, back out. And I'm gonna go again, jab, low kick, back out, like this. Henry's then gonna go. He's gonna go jab, inside low kick, back out, jab, inside low kick, back out. You're going to do the same technique for the whole round. So whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, just 2 reps of each. So jab, low kick, back out, jab, low kick, back out. Henry goes jab, low kick, back out, jab, low kick, back out. Then for your next round, you might add something else onto it. Jab, low kick, retreat with the hook, body kick as an example. You might go again, jab, low kick, retreating hook, body kick. Here, Henry then goes, boom, 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 and again, boom, 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 boom. There you go. So that's how you would build it up, whether it's a warm-up or you're doing Dutch drilling for the whole session. One round is 2 for 2 of like 2 or 3 beats. When I say beat, I just mean how many techniques, like a jab, a slip, an uppercut. That would be 3 beats. 1, 2, low kick. That would be 3 beats again. So 2 or 3 beats for your first round, then double it up, do 6 beats, then do 10 beats. Just keep building it up. It might be 1 beat, then 2 beats, 3 beats, 4 beats. You might just add 1 little movement at the end, 1 new technique, 1 new step, 1 new pivot, 1 new knee, whatever it might be, 1 new slip, roll, feint towards each round. It might be just a jab only. So I go jab, then I go again. Jab, those are my 2 reps. Henry goes 1, 2, and again. 1, 2, and again. 1, 2, and we're doing this for 3 minutes, maybe 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, and the whole time I can dial it in. You can spend your whole life just perfecting 1 basic technique like this. This is the level that it takes to get to the top. Look at Giorgio Petrosyan. Any of these top level guys do this. They do millions of reps that you don't see in the gym. Muhammad Ali, punching the bag over and over, the same combination, dialing in those details. Then the second or the third round, we might just do a jab, hook, that's it, and then I go again, jab, step to the outside, hook, making sure my hands are coming back. Henry then goes jab, hook, and again, jab, hook. We do that for 2 minutes. Now we've done 6 minutes and we've only done 2 techniques at this point, a jab, and a hook. Those are just two rounds, 6 minutes. And then the third round, then we might add a low kick. So now I go jab, hook, outside low kick, and again, jab, hook, outside low kick, and again, Henry goes jab, hook, outside low kick, boom, boom, boom. And we do that for another 3 minutes. Then we could add, after 3 rounds, that's about, now we're ready, we're warmed up. Now we can start really taking it up a bit, like jab, here, boom, knee, elbow, and again, boom, 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 elbow. So now I just added on 2 new techniques. You know what I'm saying? So we build it up eventually at the highest levels. Like I was doing 15 beat combinations at Mike's gym where each exchange lasted 5 seconds. It went on for ages, and it's actually really hard to mentally keep up. This is training your neuroplasticity and your memory and your neural patterns and your habits and your reflexes and coordination as much as it is training your body. So I was under a lot of pressure. I was training with literally the world champions, Myrtle Groenhart, Melanie Gurges, that was in the UFC at the time, Melvin Manhoff, Badr Hari, Gokhan Saki, like all of these guys in the gym when I was there. Mate, it was terrifying. Like you don't have time to keep up. They're throwing 20 punches that are like after 60 minutes of getting smashed. Bearing in mind they're like 100 kilos, all these guys, they're all on steroids, they're absolutely breaking you, and they're throwing like 20 punches and you're having to keep up. And if you miss it, guess what? You get dropped. I got dropped in drilling loads. I just missed the punch. They would hook me as hard as they could. I went down, I have to get back up again. So you really got to stay sharp for this. And then you can also alternate. Instead of doing 2 reps each, you can just go 1 for 1 to make it a bit more live and responsive. So if we go back to our first combination, which was jab, 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 jab. If you then go to the second one, which is jab, hook, you go jab, hook, but then we have the kick in, boom, 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 boom. So you go 1 for 1 also. When you do that, it's towards the end of the session. So it starts becoming a bit more live, maybe before sparring. Now, final point to bear in mind here is how often do you do this in the week? Top level professionals that are doing this full time, kickboxing is their full income, they're doing it twice a day, plus sparring, sometimes 3 times a day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. They're taking HGH, IGF, BPC, TRT, like Anavar, they're on all the juice, everything, and this is their life. They're absolute psychos. I don't recommend that for most people. If you're a part-time fighter, if you're just a guy that wants to use fighting to just improve his life a little bit, if you're assuming you find someone at your level that you can progress with, there's no reason you can't do it every day. One thing to bear in mind is you're going to be taking impact. So your legs are going to be getting smashed, you're getting hit in the body, like you're getting overwhelmed with your nervous system at the start. Just listen to your body, let yourself recover. If you need to take a day off, take a day off. There's no pressure here. Eventually, you should be able just to train this every day if you're like seeking to really get hard and conditioned. Like you're about to find out, this is the root of Dutch drilling is Kyokushin Karate. Kyokushin Karate is about raw conditioning, bare knuckle punches, shins to the body. Look at 100-man kumite. That's where Dutch drilling comes from. It's about literally taking impact and hardening your body via hard strikes. So you want to aim for that level, but there's no pressure to get there. There's no rush. Go once or twice a week to begin with in your first few weeks. Maybe go up to 2-3 times a week. Let yourself recover in between. If you're aiming to use kickboxing and martial arts to improve your life, make more money, get chicks, feel more confident, you don't need to get injured. You get what I'm saying? Like push yourself in a session, but not so much you can't train in a few days. And then the more competent you get, the more your body gets used to the movements, the more your muscles get stronger and more flexible, you're going to be able to add volume on. You get what I'm saying? But listen to your body to the beginning with. There's no pressure to do everyday training at the very start. Build up to it. Maybe within 6 months to a year, you'll be like my level where you can just jump into a class and you can just start smashing each other up, and you can do that like every day for 3 weeks, and then you take like a few days off. That's what I do now. I'll train really hard for like 2-3 weeks, take a couple of days off, and then go again. So in conclusion, Dutch drilling is amazing for conditioning your body physically and getting used to taking strikes, deadening those nerves, getting the muscles ready for impact so that it's not a shock when you actually fight. It builds your endurance for your muscles because it's exhausting. You get your tonality, you get a good physique, you shred fat. It's really good cardio workout. It's mentality, it really improves your mentality. You develop a killer instinct. You become more confident in the face of oncoming attack. You get better coordination, better reflexes, better realistic training. You can really dial in good habits. If you have a good coach as well, they'll really be able to like use this to improve your standard. The downsides is that you have to make sure your technique is good, otherwise you're going to be drilling it wrong. You can get injured if you're not careful and you're going with the wrong training partners that don't care about your progress, and they're going to injure you. And that's basically it. Make sure you join Don Dojo if you haven't already. I'll give you loads of workouts you can follow using Dutch drilling. You get personal feedback from me. I've already had loads of good fighters in there who have learned my methods that I learned in Holland, and it's helped them with their MMA careers. Make sure you're joining my mailing list, free email list. I'll send you loads of free workouts on there. Join a Telegram if you haven't already, the free Telegram. It's all in the description. Follow me on Insta, Twitter, all the rest of it. And basically change your life through martial arts by following Don Samurai, you get me?